All right, let's talk about the big one, the question that's probably on your mind. Is a robot, or more specifically, is AI coming for my job? Well, the answer is a lot more complicated and honestly way more surprising than you might think. Let's get into it.
So let's just kick things off with what feels like a massive plot twist for our careers. You know the drill, right? For decades, the advice was simple. Go to college, get that degree, and you'll have job security. Well, AI is basically flipping that entire script on its head.
For what feels like the first time ever, it's not the factory workers who are most at risk from automation. Nope, it's the highly educated professionals, the coders, the analysts, the writers. They're the ones who are suddenly the most exposed, while a lot of hands-on blue-collar jobs are looking surprisingly safe.
And look, this isn't just some tech nerd conversation happening in Silicon Valley. This anxiety is real, and it is everywhere. 60% of workers are already worried about what AI means for them. That tells you this is a huge economic issue, not some sci-fi fantasy.
And this is where things get really wild. Studies are now finding a direct link. The higher your salary, the more advanced your degree, the more likely it is that AI will impact your job. Seriously, everything we thought we knew about being safe in our careers is being totally challenged. Okay, so let's get specific. Who's on this so-called AI hit list? Which jobs, and maybe more importantly, which tasks within those jobs are really the most vulnerable?
The scale of this thing is just staggering. The World Economic Forum is predicting that automation could wipe out 83 million jobs by 2027. Think about that. That isn't some slow, gradual change. That is a massive earthquake hitting the global workforce.
So, what do all these at-risk jobs have in common? Well, it kind of comes down to routine. We're talking about jobs built on predictable, repetitive tasks, processing information that's already structured. Things like organizing data, writing simple code, or creating formulaic marketing emails. And guess what? That's exactly what these big AI models are getting really, really good at. To really see how this is playing out right now, let's just zoom in on one industry that's already going through this massive change: customer service. It's pretty much the perfect case study for the speed and the scale of AI's impact. I mean, just look at how fast this is happening. Back in 2019, AI handled about 20% of customer service stuff. By 2026, experts think that's going to jump to 75%. That's a complete overhaul of an entire industry in just a few years. It's breathtaking. And we can't forget, behind that chart, there's a huge human story. This shift directly impacts the jobs of over 17 million call center agents all over the world. This isn't just about making things more efficient, it's about people's livelihoods. Okay, but it's not all doom and gloom, not by a long shot. This brings us to the most important part of this whole story, the human advantage. Because while AI is amazing at crunching data, it's pretty terrible at actually understanding people. And that's where we still have the edge. It turns out, professions that are all about that deep human connection are the most protected. Think about fields like mental health or teaching. They require so much empathy and subtle understanding, things that, for now, are uniquely human. A machine just can't do what they do.
And that really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? Our real advantage lies in skills like genuine empathy, making complex moral judgments, and true out-of-the-blue creativity. These are the things that are incredibly hard, maybe even impossible for an AI to copy. These are the skills of the future.
And this brings us right back to that great job reversal we started with. Skilled trades, electricians, plumbers, they're safer because their jobs demand physical problem solving in messy, unpredictable real-world situations. An AI might be able to write a poem, but it sure can't fix a leaky pipe under your sink.
So what's the big takeaway here? It's not to run away from AI or to find some job it can never ever touch. The future is about collaboration. It's about learning how to work with AI, using it as this incredibly powerful tool to make our own human skills even better.
The amount of change we're talking about is just huge. An IBM report says 1.4 billion people, that's 40% of the entire global workforce, will need to learn new skills because of AI. The old idea of learning one job and doing it for 40 years, that's over. We're all in the era of lifelong learning now.
I think the best way to look at this is to see AI not as a job replacer, but as a capability enabler. Think about it like this. AI isn't here to replace a doctor. No way. It's here to help that doctor by, say, analyzing thousands of medical scans in seconds to spot something a human eye might miss. It frees up the expert to do what only they can do, handle the complex diagnosis, plan treatments, and actually care for the patient.
Which brings us to one final, really important question that all of us have to ask ourselves. The real question isn't, will AI take my job? It's, how am I going to use AI to do my job better? The future of work, it seems, is a partnership. Are you ready for it?